It's time for your Low Country Real Estate Market Update. It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Brian is one of the top 1% real estate agents in Charleston. Find him online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. Now, broadcasting from the WTMA studios, here's your host, Brian Beatty.
It's the best of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Good morning, Charleston, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Pleasure to be here. A lot to talk about today. We do this every once in a while. I'm gonna read off some stats and help you guys understand what's going on in the market right now. We're going to go through some numbers, the market in general. We're going to break it down by county, and we're going to break it down by area. Have you guys understand really where we stand first quarter of this year compared to the first quarter of last year. I think some of these numbers are going to shock you. And then a little bit later on in the program, we're going to talk about just what you expect when entering into a market like this, whether it be from a real estate agent's perspective, of course, as a buyer and as a seller. There's a lot of drama in our market right now. I want you guys to be aware of some things and really set some expectations for you guys when it comes time to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. That's what this show is all about. For the past 8 years, I've been on this program giving you my expert news and reviews of the market, helping you guys better understand how to prepare for the process of buying, selling, or investing in real estate, sharing my experiences as somebody that's sold close to $1 billion worth of real estate here in the Charleston market, been in the top 1% for going on 12 years. So if you'd like to reach out to me at any point in time throughout this program or, of course, during the week, let me give you my cell phone number. That's to contact me directly. That's 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. Or you can check out our website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. A lot of great information on there about what's for sale right now, what we're doing to find inventory for the buyers that are having a really tough time with that. We're going to, again, go through some numbers here in a moment. If you're thinking of selling your home, we have some great tools on there that will, of course, tell you how much your home is worth, but it will also tell you how many buyers we have for your home right now in our database that match your home preferences or the specifics of your particular property that you're going to sell. And then, of course, just a bunch of information on us, previous radio shows, all kinds of great stuff, listingsincharleston.com. So we're going to get right into it. I've got a lot of ground to cover with these stats, and these stats are through the end of March. I mean, if we look at the MLS today, we're at around 1,500 homes for sale. We've kind of been bouncing back and forth between 1,450 and 1,550 homes available for sale in the Tri-County area, which is just incredibly low. But, the demand out there is what is keeping this market incredibly competitive. Prices are going through the roof, way higher than we anticipated. Inventory is being absorbed at an alarming rate. We're basically not putting enough homes on the market to kind of return to normalcy, to kind of create that balance in the market, to kind of level the playing field between buyers and sellers. So if you look at our year-to-date stats, just as a market, Tri-County area, we've put about 6,300 homes on the market, which is down like 250 homes from the same amount of time in 2020. So the new listings were down 4%. But this is what's interesting. Even though we're putting relatively the same number of homes on the market, the homes that are going under contract is up 33%. This time last year, we put 5,000 properties under contract. Year to date, we've put 6,600 properties under contract. Now, to add some relevancy to that number, the total number of homes for sale in March of last year was 5,600 properties. Now we're at 1,500. That's down close to 75%. Thousands of homes just poof, disappeared. In March of last year, we put 1,600 homes under contract. Last month, we put 2,600 homes under contract. So even with less inventory, with only 1,500, 1,600 properties available for sale, we put 1,000 more than that under contract, which is why this inventory, this market supply of month supply of inventory just continues to go down. If you look at the median sales price year to date, we are up as a market 14%. The median sales price is now $330,000. If you look at the average, which I tend to like the median number rather than the average, just because we have such a wide variety of property types and, of course, values in the Tri-County area. But the average sales price is $456,000 at the end of March. That's up 20% from $381,000 this time last year. So really just incredible numbers continue to not necessarily surprise, but reinforce just how heavily weighted the market is on the seller side of the transaction. It makes it very challenging and very competitive for buyers. Now, that doesn't mean that, if you want to sell your home, as an example, you're not going to have any trouble doing that, so long as we price it effectively, market it well, and it's in good condition. But people are, kind of bottlenecked by, hey, I'd sell my home today if I could, but where am I going to go? And we're going to talk about that at the tail end of the program. That's kind of been a recurring theme on this show over the past few months is, the inventory that's out there that's behind the scenes. We call it shadow inventory, but it's just not available. You can't see it. It's not public knowledge. So when we work with folks, how do we then connect the dots? How do we create this process in which your home sells, you buy another? We give you all the options that are available, not just what's on the market, but what we can go into the market and find on your behalf. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well, but that's just the general market. So I'm going to rifle off some data here. I'm going to, in kind of alphabetical order, go through all the different areas of Charleston, and I'm just going to tell you the median sales price, the inventory, and how quickly things are selling. So in Daniel Island, we'll just start there. Median sales price is up 19% to a little over $1 million, $1,037,500 to be exact. Properties are selling in 38 days, which is down 14%. They're getting 97.5% of asking price. The Dorchester Road Corridor, which has a combination of Charleston and Dorchester County, median sales price is up 5% to $277,000. Days on market's now at 23 days. That's down 51%. And by the way, as of March, there were only 9 homes available for sale. That's down 93%. March of 2020, we had 134 properties available for sale. Last month, 9. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Is that not just crazy? Downtown Charleston, the median sales price is up 13%. They are selling in 123 days. That's just down a few days from 128 back in 2020. And inventory is down 43%. We had 180 in 2020. Now we're at about 100. The Upper Peninsula, above the crosstown, median sales price is up 15.5% to $583,000. They're selling in 74 days, which remains basically unchanged. Inventory has almost been cut in half. We had 49 properties available for sale compared to 85 this time last year. Folly Beach, median sales price is, there have only been 30 sales, so you have to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but the median sales price is up 46.5%. Obviously, with more data, we'll get a more accurate read on what's actually happening to prices, appreciation there. But they sold in 23 days, which is down from 112 last year. And as of last month, there were 7 properties available. This time last year, there were 45. In Goose Creek and Moncks Corner, median sales price is up 12.5% to $305,000. They're selling in 24 days, basically cut in half from this time last year. And inventory is down 63%. There were 221 properties available last month compared to almost 600 this time last year. In the North Charleston area, median sales price is up 6%. Average days on market, 24 days compared to 36 last year. There were 47 properties available last month. Last year, this time, there were 148. So that's down almost 70%. In Somerville, median sales price up 12.5%. Days on market, 24 days. Again, about half of what it was last year. 129 properties available for sale last month compared to 506 in March of 2020. That's down 75%. Hanahan, median sales price is up 17%. It's taking, half the amount of time to sell property, 25 days. Inventory down 74%. There were 18 in March of last month. Last year, 68 properties. The Hollywood Ravenel Megget area, prices are up 15%. Days on market, 40 days. Inventory is down almost 80%. There were 80 properties last year. There were 18 last month. Isle of Palms. This is another interesting one. We've had 64 closings so far this year. Average days on market, 44 days. Median sales price is up 46% to over $1.5 million bucks. And inventory. Last year we had 138. Last month we had 26. It's down over 80%. James Island prices are up 12%, taking half the amount of time to sell property, 27 days compared to 52 last year. Last year there were 162 properties around this time. Now there's only 29, down 82%. Johns Island property values are up 15%. Days on market, 31 days. Last year we had 224 properties. Now we have 36, down 84%. Lower Mount Pleasant prices are up 11%. The median sales price in Mount Pleasant is now $650,000. They're selling in 35 days compared to 79 this time last year. Last year we had 255 properties. Now we have 46. It's down 82%. The upper Mount Pleasant area, anything north of the Isle of Palms connector, median sales price is up a little over 9% to $585,000. They're selling in 27 days versus 76 this time last year. Last year we had 319 properties. Now we have 62. It's down 81%. The rural Berkeley County area, we've had 46 closings. So again, not a ton of data here. Median sales price is actually down a little bit, but the average sales price is up 15%. Safe to say that prices have gone up there too. We just need some more data. Inventory of homes. Last year, 89. Last month, 32. Down 64%. Sullivan's Island. Median sales price is up 55%, but that's only because we've had 10 sales so far this year. So don't take too much into consideration there. But certainly prices have gone up, especially when you look at Isle of Palms. Last month, we had 9 homes. Last year, we had 21 homes available for sale. So another big reduction in inventory. And then really the last two, Wando, Cainhoy area off Clements Ferry Road. Average sales or median sales price is up 12.5%. They're selling in 30 days versus 100 days last year. Last year we had about 100 properties available for sale. Now we have 25, down 75%. And then lastly, West Ashley. Median sales price is up 11%. They're selling in 28 days, which is down from 54 last year. Last year we had 324 properties available for sale in March. Last month we had 59. It's down 82%. So it really is incredible how much different our market looks today versus a year in the past. So we're having to be really creative in how we're finding properties for our buyers. And just because the market's really hot does not mean that it's easy. Well, I guess let me put it this way. Yes, an agent can put a sign in the yard, put it in the MLS, take nice photos, and sell a house. And that really is the reality of the situation. But when you work with an agent that really understands the market, has been there, done that, has the experience, knows how to make you money in that transaction, I will go to the grave with this opinion that an experienced agent makes you more money in the transaction than one that is not. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We're going to talk about just now that we have, frankly, all of these agents and very few properties and people fighting over paychecks, it's creating a lot of drama in our market. So I'm going to tell you a story or two, have you guys understand maybe what goes on behind the scenes, because that is part of what we do on this program is kind of peel back the curtain and help you understand what the day in the life of a real estate agent is like so that you understand as a consumer who you should be working with, what those red flags are that you see that hopefully allow you to keep looking if you run across one of these agents, and just maybe to better understand the process so that it can be as good a transaction as possible for you. That's really what this show is all about. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. If you want to know how much your home is worth, we have a really awesome tool that will not just tell you today's value, but it will tell you things like, hey, if you were to rent it, here's how much you could rent it for. If you wanted to pay this amount more toward your principal balance, here's how much money you could save monthly over the life of the loan. It's got some great analytics. It's proving to be a really helpful tool. So if you'd like to know how much your property is worth and then kind of monitor that value over time, as well as look at some of those analytics, feel free to give me a call, 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. You can text that number as well. Or just go to listingsincharleston.com, go to the home evaluation tab, and we can get you all set up right there. You don't even have to talk to anybody. So listingsincharleston.com is the website, or if you'd like, just send me an email, brian@brianbeattyteam.com. Stick around, folks, for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Have a real estate question? Ask Brian Beatty. Send him an email, lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show is on 1250 WTMA. 1250 WTMA. Now, the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues on Charleston's Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
You're listening to the best of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Welcome back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. 8 years I've been on this program telling you guys what I think is going to happen in the real estate market, helping you kind of use this lens to look ahead into the market, make some plans, become an informed consumer. This is not one of those shows where I use buzzwords and scare tactics to scare you into decisions. No, I do not believe the sky is falling. No, I do not believe the bubble is about to burst. I do think that there are some things we need to talk about and be aware of. Do I think it's going to be a slow change? Yes. Are there some things that could happen that could accelerate that process? Absolutely. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But I want to finish this discussion on selling a home, buying another. Is now the right time to sell? Can I find what I'm looking for, or do I run the risk of putting my home on the market and then not knowing where to go? So I think at this point, most people understand that there is a home sale contingency available to somebody that needs to sell their home before they can buy another. So when you make an offer to another seller and you say, hey, here's how much I want to pay, here are the other terms of the agreement. Having said that, I need to get my home on the market, get it under contract, and get it closed before I can buy your house. So I want to mention two really important things. Number one is that we have partnered with a company that will guarantee a seller. So let's say you have a home that you need to sell. This company will guarantee that closing, even if they have to pay cash. So what you do is you contact us. We then contact that company. We say, here's the situation. Here's the home that we want to purchase. They then write a letter that says this entity will guarantee a closing on a specific date, regardless of whether they have sold their home or not. So it doesn't mean you can't use a home sale contingency. It just means that no matter what, that closing is going to occur. So that seller doesn't have to worry about your home selling on time or at all. So what they'll do is they'll pay cash if they need to, and they'll just charge a 2% for that. It's really become an incredible program that we have had several people take advantage of just in the course of the past 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, I think we've done, I want to say 10 transactions through this particular program, because for folks that need to sell before they buy, it's frankly really challenging to get those types of offers accepted without some sort of backup, without some sort of proof that, hey, this is going to happen for that seller, because most sellers, when they put their home on the market, are getting bombarded with showings and interest and questions and offers. So is it reasonable to assume that they're going to wait around for you to put your home on the market, get it under contract, get through the process, and sell it so that you can buy theirs? Yes, it still happens. I'm not here to paint the picture that it's impossible. It's challenging, but not impossible. But we have this program that has been incredibly helpful to folks that need to sell before they buy. We're guaranteeing the closing. We've also done that, just so you know, with FHA buyers, folks that are putting a low percentage of money down. If there's a really hot property and those buyers really want it, then they will say, hey, no matter what, this deal is going to close, even if we have to pay cash for it. And so for you, somebody that might be getting, let's say you're benefiting from, a VA loan, 100% financing. We can still go through this program, which will say, hey, no matter what, this deal is going to happen, even if we have to pay cash for it. And the guarantee of that cash closing just costs you 1%. So there's just massive benefit in a market like this. Yes, it's a cost that you otherwise wouldn't have to incur if the market wasn't quite so hot. But I think that when you weigh the pros and cons, most people are finding it to be a pro rather than continuously losing out on homes that they want to buy and move into, especially given the fact that they're few and far between. They're tough to come by, right? There's just not a lot of options out there. So that's number one, is this program that we've aligned with that allows you to guarantee a closing. The other option here, which for whatever reason is just not talked about, it's not well known, it's not well used and implemented in our market. I think it is in a few other areas of the country where, and don't get me wrong, we have seen a 70% reduction in inventory in our market, which means it's incredibly competitive out there for a buyer. But there are other markets that are a lot worse off than ours from a buyer's perspective. These markets are getting 40, 50, 80 offers on properties. As a listing agent, that would be a challenge, sorting through 80 offers, extrapolating all the important details, and then ultimately letting 79 people know, hey, sorry, better luck next time. There's a lot that goes on in negotiating deals and multiple offers. That's a little bit off topic, but what I want to talk about is a home purchase contingency. So we already know what the home sale contingency is. I need to sell my home before I buy it. The home purchase contingency is frankly the exact opposite of that. I will sell my home so long as you give me enough time to find a suitable property to purchase. There's this incredible opportunity among sellers to kind of call the shots right now, and I think it's a big missed opportunity in this market. We've done it. It has worked extremely well. It kind of removes that fear, so to speak, of putting your home on the market without knowing where you're going. Because going back to the home sale contingency and needing to sell your home before you buy another, most sellers are not going to take your offer seriously unless your home's on the market. Doesn't necessarily have to be under contract, but the likelihood of a seller taking your offer that requires you to put your home on the market, get it under contract, and get it closed it's very challenging. So why not flip the script and say, hey, I'll sell my home so long as you give me a reasonable amount of time. You get to dictate how much time that is, by the way, so long as you can get the buyer to agree to it, to find a suitable replacement property. And if I can't, then hey, we'll just call this thing off. I'll give you your earnest money back. Doesn't mean I can't sell it to you at some point in the future. If you're still interested and something else comes available, we'll just get right back into that agreement together. But I can't sell my home without knowing where I'm going. So the home purchase contingency is something that we just don't see a lot of. It's something we use, and it's incredibly helpful. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of that or not, but man, what a great tool. You know what the cool thing about real estate is? One of the great things I love about real estate is that you can put just about anything into a contract so long as you can get both people to agree on it. If it's a win-win, then, experienced agents are able to bring that kind of creativity to the table. The ability to problem solve is, I think, what separates the pros from the amateurs in a market like this. And don't get me wrong, I celebrate the fact that we have a bunch of agents entering the market. It's one of the best careers on planet Earth. I firmly believe that there is no income ceiling. It's just a great thing to do for a living. I love it. It's my passion. I can't imagine doing anything else. If folks ask me, if you weren't selling real estate, what would you be doing? The answer would not be something that does not have something to do with real estate. I just can't imagine not doing what I do for a living. But the ability to be creative, the ability to problem solve, the ability to say, yeah, I've been there, done that. I have seen a full market cycle. I've been licensed for 16 years. I've sold $1 billion almost worth of real estate in Charleston. Yes, I can navigate you through this process and make sure that the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and that you ultimately make more money with me than you do with other newer agents. I mean, we've made the decision to reduce our listing commission, by the way, to 2.4%. We're passing on savings to you. We're doing very well this year. Real estate, as you know, is very hot. We're passing on the savings to you guys, 2.4% listing commission. If you want more information on that, and that does not mean, by the way, that we have internally reduced or eliminated some things that we find are appropriate, necessary, and helpful to help you sell your home. We still have all of our guarantees, all of our unique selling propositions, all of the incredible marketing that we do. We're just doing it for less because, let's be honest, we're selling a lot of real estate. We've sold almost a home a day this year. So if that's something I can talk with you more about. You're thinking about selling, at least get on our radar. At least say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about selling in 6 months from now. Do you have anybody that would be looking for a home like mine in that same amount of time? And I'll more often than not, the answer is yes. We have really invested very heavily in technology. I don't know of anybody else in the market that's doing what we're doing, but we have the ability, with a few clicks of a button, to tell you exactly how many people are on our website looking at properties similar to yours that we're in touch with, that we can immediately communicate with about your home should you choose to sell it. That's why we're getting all our off-market deals done. And that's why agents just don't have that firepower. They don't have access to that kind of stuff. It's costly. The learning curve is fairly steep. We've been doing it for years. It works well. So if that's something that we can do to help make your life easier, give us a call, 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. Or check us out online. You can find more about our team and our process. You can get an evaluation on your home. By the way, that evaluation will tell you how many buyers there are for your home right now that we're communicating with. It's a really helpful tool. Listingsincharleston.com is the website. Listingsincharleston.com. All right, so when we come back, I just want to give you kind of a peek ahead. I do want to talk about Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure plan. I want to talk about what I think the impact is going to be to the real estate market among some of the other things that they're trying to accomplish. We've got Bernie Sanders leading the charge on some tax changes that I think you need to be made aware of. We're going to talk about pricing, offers designed to be renegotiated, a few other things as the show continues right here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Stick around.
Find Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues next on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
1250 WTMA, the Big Talker.
Expert news and views on the Lowcountry real estate scene. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA.
It's the best of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Welcome back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. So we've been spending the first half of the show talking about this question that I keep getting asked, which is, hey, is the market about to crash? It really is. The bubble about to burst. I keep hearing all these stories about all these folks in forbearance that are going to turn into foreclosures and will ultimately drive prices down, which means I probably shouldn't buy a house right now. And at the end of the day, go back and listen to the show. You can go to listingsincharleston.com if you're just joining us, and I'll give you the full timeline of events from what's happened from March of last year until now, and what I believe the outlook for our market is, which is that, these folks that end up not making it, right? They can't get back on their feet financially. Prices are going up at such rapid rates, such, in some instances, uncomfortable rates, that these folks are going to be traditional home sellers. They're not necessarily going to be distressed sales. We'll see. Will there be some? Absolutely. I don't think there's any question in anyone's mind that there will be some foreclosures and some short sales that come as a result of what's happened with COVID. But is it going to cripple our market? Is it going to crash our market? No, I don't believe so. At least not with the data that we're seeing right now. Anything can change, but that applies to, any day of the week. We just don't know what we don't know yet. But it seems like all signs are pointing toward us being okay, right? So I want to talk now about just our local market, how all of this is impacting us here locally. So I'm going to give you guys some stats. I know some of you love this, some of you hate this. Sorry, not sorry. You guys need to know what's going on in the market, and this is for me, it's the exciting stuff. I follow trends, I follow numbers. I frankly think it's tough to find somebody that's more knowledgeable about what's happening within our market than me, obviously mainly because I've had the show for the past 8 years. I have to talk intelligently about it every week, and it's a hobby of mine. I like understanding what's happening in this market so that I can then relay that to you, the person that's thinking of buying, selling, investing in real estate, so that we've got reasonable expectations and we know what to do, where to go, when to stop, how much to pay, when is it okay to walk away, all that great stuff. So let's just get into some general market stats. In the Tri-County area, new listings when I compare this to January of last year, new listings hitting the market in January was down 11%. But pending sales, properties that went under contract, were up 34%. So we put 1,867 properties on the market in January, last month, but we put 2,114 properties under contract. We closed on 1,421 properties, which is up 22% from January of last year. We saw days on market go. It's days on market has really been around in the mid 50s for frankly kind of years. Now it's down to 41, so that's down 28%. The median sales price was up 9.5%. The median sales price was $314,900. The average sales price, which look, it's 1 month worth of data, and it's the average. So I'm going to focus on the median, not the average, but just for kicks, the average sales price in the Charleston Tri-County area was $457,000, up 25% from January of last year. Again, focus on the median, not the average. The percentage of asking price received was 97.5%. That's up from 96% January of last year. And the housing affordability index went down to 89. In January of 2020, it was at 98. So that's down 9%. Obviously, interest rates are a saving grace here, but as prices go up relative to wages, homes become less and less affordable. But here is the story and this number. I always have Sam, my director of operations, here in the studio with me because he videos this, and we put this on our website, listingsincharleston.com, and on YouTube, and you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all that great stuff. But I was just saying, this number is crazy. At the end of January, last month, a little over 2,000 properties available for sale. You know how many we had in January of 2020? Almost 5,500. 3,500 properties, boom, gone. Down 62% from January of last year. But if you take into account the rate at which we're putting things under contract and the resulting month's supply of inventory, we are now at literally 1 month supply of inventory. Frankly, we're probably less than that because at the end of January, we had a little over 2,000 properties available for sale. Now we're at like 1,850. It just keeps going down. It's incredible how quickly our market is absorbing inventory. So then let's look at some individual counties. Let's look at Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester County. In Charleston County, for single-family detached properties, new listings are down 16%. Closings are up 20%. Median sales price was up 18%. Days on market, 48 days. It's down 20%. The inventory is down 66%. If you look at Berkeley County, new listings are up 3%. Closings are up 30%. The median sales price is up 8%, and properties are selling in 27 days now, as opposed to 43 this time last year. So that's down 37%, and overall inventory is down 58%. In Berkeley County, at the end of January, there were 410 properties for sale. That time last year, there were almost 1,000. It's incredible. And then you look at Dorchester County. New listings are down almost 16%. Closings are up 10%. The median sales price was up 1.5%. They're selling in 25 days as opposed to 44 days in January of 2020, and inventory is down 68%. In all of Dorchester County, at the end of January, there were 207 properties available for sale. Compared to 2020, there were 643. So that's down 68%. If you look at the condo market, let me just tell you this one, because those were all the stats for single-family detached housing. If you look at condos, let's just focus on one key thing, inventory of homes for sale. For condos and townhomes in Dorchester County, 17 for sale in January, last month. January 2020, 106, down 84%. Absolutely incredible. So when we come back, I'm going to talk about how you can capitalize on this. What are some things that you can be doing, whether you're a buyer or a seller, to make sure that you don't lose out on some opportunity. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. And remember, if you want to reach out to me, you want to understand what your home is worth, what properties are going for in your area, prepare for the road ahead, which will likely result in multiple offers if you're a buyer. How do we win? We talked about that last show, but happy to go through it again with you guys. 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. Or check us out online, listingsincharleston.com. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
1250 WTMA.
Now, here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
You're listening to the best of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Welcome back, folks, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. So I want to talk about this program that we have been able to tap into that, frankly, has been a game changer for a lot of buyers in this market right now. It also is very applicable to folks that want to sell their home and buy another. So let me kind of build a little backstory here. As inventory has continued to come down, as the market in and of itself has become more and more competitive, buyers are trying to find ways to make their offer more appealing to sellers. One of the most aggressive ways they can do that for folks that are going to get a mortgage is to waive the financing contingency, to waive the appraisal contingency. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the contract, it says, hey, we're going to get a mortgage. This purchase is contingent upon us getting a mortgage. And our contract in South Carolina, I'll tell you, I can't get on a soapbox because I don't have time about it, but it is extremely buyer friendly. It doesn't do many favors for the seller. One example of that is in the financing contingency in the actual contract. It literally says the financing contingency expires at closing. So what that really means is that if you're a buyer and at any point in time, even a day before closing, the lender says, hey, sorry, you know what? Can't get you financing. My bad. Then you as the buyer get to say, hey, seller, sorry, can't get financing. My bad. And you have the right to get your earnest money back. I mean, it's incredible that a seller can go through this process, line up, moving, start to pack their home. And then the day before closing, the lender says, yeah, actually, we can't get them financed. And you think about it. You think about the likelihood of that happening. It's not all that far off. I mean, think about how incredibly busy lenders are right now, how busy agents are. Everybody's trying to do the best they can with the market in the current condition it's in. And so what we have discovered is that providing that seller with peace of mind that, hey, this deal is going to close no matter what. As soon as we get through the inspection, if we can, we'll see what happens with the inspection. We'll do some separate negotiating there. But once that happens, barring some sort of natural disaster or something horrible happening, we're closing on this property. We're able to do that because of this program that I've been connected with, which has some pretty deep pockets. They've got $200 million that they can play with here. And so here's how this works. Let's say that you're a buyer. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a buyer and you're getting an FHA loan, which is 3.5% down. So you're financing the vast majority of that purchase. Now, let's say that a property is listed for $300,000. And you offer $310,000, $10,000 above the asking price. Is there a likelihood that the property will appraise for less than the contract amount? Well, yes, there's always a likelihood or a chance that will happen. But then what is the likelihood that the buyer has enough cash on hand to be able to make up the difference between the appraised amount and the contract amount? Because if an appraisal comes in for less than the contract amount, you as a buyer have to make up that difference in cash. Of course, it's a separate point of negotiation. You can always try and get the seller to sell it for less. Most sellers in this market aren't doing that. They might negotiate with you a little bit. Most won't. So you as the buyer have to be liquid enough to come to the table with additional cash on top of your down payment, on top of your closing costs, on top of the cost of the inspection and some of the other out-of-pocket costs that you might incur, like an appraisal. So what buyers have been doing is they've been waiving the financing contingency through this program because this program says, hey, no matter what, we will close on this property even if we have to pay cash for it. This program will literally buy that property for cash. Now, for them to give that seller the promise that this will close cash no matter what, which makes you as the buyer appear as though you are a cash buyer, is just 1%. Just 1%. If you're a buyer in this market and you're out there waiving financing contingencies in order to get your deal accepted, which is becoming more and more commonplace, if you don't get financing, you're going to lose your earnest money, which is 1 to 2% of the purchase price anyways. So you might as well go through this program and appear to the seller as though, hey, guess what? No matter what, this deal is going to close. If I can't get a mortgage in time, this company will buy it for cash. And it just costs you 1%. Now, if they actually have to buy it, then they'll buy it, and then they'll just rent the property to you for up to 6 months, and that just costs you 2%. It's incredible to me how creative some of these different programs have become. Think about the person that needs to sell their home and buy another. If you make an offer on that property that you want to buy, you don't have to use a home sale contingency. You can just say, hey, we're going to close on this thing, guaranteed. If we can't close it on time, if I can't sell my home in time, then this company will buy it for cash. Some people are electing to go this route because they want to have this company buy the property for them. They'll pay rent until they close themselves, but it lets them move out of their house, stage it, make it look really nice, and sell it for more than 2% more than what it would typically sell for. Maybe they do a little work to it. And now they've actually made money through this process. They've gotten a guaranteed cash closing. It's only cost them 2%. They sold their property that they were going to sell for more money because now they can treat it like, kind of an actual product rather than live in the process or live in the home and try and renovate while you're living in it and juggling the process of selling and buying, which can be a little cumbersome. And so this process has opened the door for so many people. The folks that don't want to really run the risk of losing the earnest money and not get the house, this guarantees them the house. It just costs them 2%. The folks that need to sell their home, rather than having a seller receive that offer and say, sorry, I'm not waiting around for you to get your home ready and you put your home on the market and you accept an offer and then maybe that deal potentially fall through. But the beauty is, if you go through this program, you can still do those things. You can still go and get your own mortgage and close on time. You can still sell your home and close at or before you buy the new one, and you don't have to pay this company. It's just 1% for that kind of protection, for the guarantee that no matter what, it's going to close for 1%. So it's really been an incredible game changer for my team to allow these people the ability to be a guaranteed cash buyer. Whether you need to sell your home and buy another, or you just want to be the person that the seller chooses in a multiple offer situation. Because what we really don't want to do is we don't want to start waiving so many contingencies that the risk associated with buying a home is unappetizing. So if that's something you'd like to learn more about, we're putting a lot of people through the program right now. It's been incredible. That, on top of the 2.4% listing commission, we're trying to do everything we can to be creative and offer solutions as a real estate company. So if I can walk you through that process, feel free to give me a call, 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. You can check us out online, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or you can send me an email, brian@brianbeattyteam.com. Thanks a lot, Charleston. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks for listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 10. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009.